Hey guys, how's it going? It's Tuesday, 9:30 on the Southwest. Okay. Two south SBD trains. Oh, there's a train going by. Starting off in Barstow. We're going to head over to Yeah, I'm not up on the procedures here. So that's SBD Intermodal. See if I can bring them in here. Let's see, why not? So how's it going, guys? Just want to make sure everything's okay here. Here it comes. Okay. So we got 2 tracks that are open right now. I'm not too sure of the lengths of this. I haven't really see what we're dealing with. Either way, I'm going to make sure that these tracks are opened up. So what I do now is I just click on him, relinquish when stopped. Apparently there's another one right behind him. Oh, there he is. So anyways, yeah. As I getting to go with this tonight, I've been reflecting a lot with Run8 again. Last night I did a 5-hour YouTube live stream. I believe as I was coming on tonight, I checked to see what was happening as far as viewership. I think it was up to 29. There's been no responses to my post on the official forums, so judging, well, or at least the Steam forums for the program that I'm using right now, that's been taking most of my time. So with that, I'm thinking to myself, well, it's very possible that that program is less popular than Run8, which was kind of, at first it's surprising, but then I thought about it and I thought, no, not really. But you notice I was pretty quiet there at the beginning. I was just, you know, basically doing my job, blah blah blah, getting things started, concentrating, making sure I knew what was going on. And that's been about it. A lot of times when I'm in this other program that I'm using is basically fishing Barents Sea, I'm just running around doing my thing, but I'm enjoying it. Love the scenery, love the relaxation. I have tasks to do and all that, but for the most part it's relaxing. Heck, I can clean the house while I do it. It's not a big deal. So like I said, I did 5 hours the other night. I think I've done a total of about 14 since the weekend when my son and I decided to purchase it. I do about 3 hours now a week for Run8. So Run8's no longer the major program, and I don't know if that'll ever come back, quite frankly. Fishing Barents Sea could be a fad, But unlike the other programs that I do run a lot on the weekends, I don't run them much on the week. Like Subsistence, I don't run during the week. I run on the weekends with my son. I don't play it on my own. I have fun with playing it with him, but other than that, I really don't care about it. The same can be said about what's the other one? Stranded Deep. I could run it on my own, but I don't. I always do it with him. This one I can do because it's kind of weird, because there's a lot of repetitive tasks involved in it. But then again, it's a lot of eye candy and just running and basically, I mean, it's kind of like doing Run8, except you're doing tasks and you're building up revenue. You're actually building up revenue and taking on better, you know, bigger boats and upgrading them and all that other stuff. So it's similar yet different. Yeah, I had a funny feeling I was going to have to double up here. I'm not sure where to put the see, I'm not even too sure if I'm supposed to put him in this yard or not. I haven't. Oh, he might make it if I'm lucky. No, my luck, he won't be. But we'll see. Looks like he's having a hard time making it. If not, I'll pull him in some more. Oh yeah, he'll make it. So I should have one more in behind him. Yeah, he's coming. Hopefully I can clear that. If not, I'll just pull it in myself and no, I'm just going to have to pull it in just a bit more then. So now what we do I've already started it, so now that that's in there, we can go like this and boom. There we go, find him. There he is. Okay, so I gotta make sure he fits in that track. If not, then I have to make some alterations, but that'll allow me to, while he's coming in, I'll kind of finish what I was talking about. Oops, am I in the right? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, we'll just go with this view for now. Leave it at that. So, yeah. So, like I guess I was saying, my focus has changed quite a bit, and I really, like, I'm not 100% sure. Originally, I was going to focus on my stuff. Then I procrastinated, didn't do anything, which is pretty, you know, familiar with me. Then I found something that was kind of similar to what I wanted to do anyways, and I thought, well, yeah, I can do this with inspiration. Then I thought, you know, I just like it. I just want to get it, and I just want to run it for a while and have some fun. I've already got, it was like $21 Canadian. Small compared to, you know, what you would spend for a Run8 after a while with downloads and 2 versions and all that other stuff. But so we are now approximately, where are we at? So we're in the middle of July. Last I heard, by the end of this year, they're supposed to go to a version 3. Latest Run8 Depot, because I don't get access to, well, I don't, they basically don't want anybody reading their forums, let alone, you know, anything else for that matter, other than their maps and their Run8 servers site, which of course they provide, but other than that, they don't want people reading their forums. They want that. So you're not a member, you're not going to be able to read their forums. I used to do that. I can't do it yet. But I'm not going to do it then. But that's him. Although he's... well, I guess he's going 15 miles an hour. So yeah. I don't know exactly. The latest news was something about coal hoppers, or I don't know what the hell. Because it was on one of A-Line's screenshots or something. I don't know what the heck it was. That's the latest news. That was from a little over a month ago. I have not heard of anything. Mind you, I'm not as active in Run8, so because of that, I don't get all the juicy information and gossip. I haven't heard anything here. I haven't heard much of anything, to be quite honest. And with other programs, whether it be Subsistence, which I enjoy, Stranded Deep, and now you've got this program, Barents, I can't even name it, the Barents Sea or whatever the hell it is, Fishing Barents Sea. So now you've got these various programs which happen to be on a Steam platform, which, you know, at first glance I was just like, man, that thing's a pain. But they have their own forums. They, you know, are relatively easy and painless to get on your system, and boom, you're in. And the community's right there. You have access to the community. You have access to all the information. The developers are on the forum. Basically, you got access to information and communicate with the developers, and everything is pretty peachy. So, whereas Run8, you've got a website, website developed by Run8, I guess, maintained by Run8, that used to have a lot of information. It used to have future information, and I guess people took it for gospel or expected that deadlines weren't going to be missed. Heck, they missed their first deadline of releasing the program. It's not a big deal. Stuff like that happens all the time, especially if you're a smaller company. But I know of people who are single developers, such as Subsistence, for example. Subsistence is being developed by one person, and he's working full time in it now. He used to have a job and do it. Now he's working full time on it. So all that stuff going on, and yet you either have to be on Facebook. Well, not everybody's on Facebook, and not everybody's friends with everybody to get the information needed to know what's going on. Not everybody is on every forum, whether Facebook be very popular amongst people, whether a certain forum be very popular amongst people. You're still missing, not only are you missing the people who've actually spent money into the program, but you're missing potential future customers. And that's been slowly weighing on me for a while. I heard a lot of talk early on. It's one thing when I talk about something and say I'm going to do something. Well, guess what? I don't have customers. So what? I can talk all I want about anything and promise the sky. It don't mean nothing. And nope. The thing about programs is you make a program, and you know, everybody's a critic, or everybody, you know, a lot of people can be negative, and a lot of people, there's been a lot of people who have gone to bat for Run8, including myself. various times, and I can think of a lot of other people who are no longer in Run8 who have gone to bat for Run8. So it isn't a question of have people gone to bat. There have been a lot of people who have gone to bat for Run8. Yes, they had their critics, and believe it or not, they've won over some of their critics. I've seen some of their critics over on the Train Sim forums that have basically turned into Run8 fans, quite frankly. And a lot still are happy with it, and that's great. Good for them. Like I said before, it's the best train simulator out there. Let's see if this actually fit. I gotta do some registry entries. Yeah, I'll try to bring it in a little bit more. I don't know how much room I got left. Oh, I got some room. I'll finish that thought in a few minutes. See if I made it. Not quite. No, actually, he's going the other way. Barely. Alright. Well, he's in there. Gotta remember these tracks now. So I don't know what the hell's what here. Okay, so 206. Let's see if I can do this right. WSP SBD 8 is on 206. think it's 8. I should have checked. Yep. Kansas City, San Bernardino 1. And that's all there is to that. That's thinking. There we go. So we get out of that. We'll take a quick look at the work list and see what's available. Is there anything? Yeah, not interested in that. You know, normally I would actually jump on that one. Exit East End, Bakersfield, and work industries in East Bakersfield and Edison. In Edison only make pickups for industries that have setouts. Edison industries are served by BNSF and UP. Yeah, honestly, normally I would do that, but now that it's 10:03, I'm not going to bother. Yeah, I'm just going to run a train. Let's just run a train. What do we got here? Make something simple. I like this one. Like I said, something simple. Got a train coming up to Vina. Perfect. Once I get started, I'll get back to my thoughts. So anyways, yeah, I used to, before I had the Wikia, I actually, now the Wikia is much easier for me than to update a website. Not so much because I can't update a website, it's because the service went down, it was a little bit reliable, but I was okay with it. Updating a website is not as easy as posting to a wiki or posting to a forum or updating a file sometimes. But it's still can be done. Now some websites require knowledge of HTML, others you can use something like FrontPage. I've used mainly FrontPage in the past, really haven't touched HTML too much. But it can be done. It's not the easiest thing, however, I would imagine the team is capable of doing it. They update their website enough in the past that I imagine they are capable of editing their own websites. I used to, when I would say I was a real fan of Run8 still, I used to check Run8's website on a regular basis to see when the next update was coming through. Especially if one was expected in the near future. Honestly, I haven't got a clue of anything. There's really no buzz, there's no anticipation of anything. Yeah, California was a great route. That's awesome. I've been very highly praising of California. I didn't get to see Seligman, nor do I want to see Seligman. Honestly, I wouldn't have purchased California had it not been gifted to me. And in fact, I probably would have cooled down from Run8 sooner had it not happened. And I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way or saying it in such a way that it just, I think it prolonged the cool down period for me. It just kind of kept me going on for a while. It was another distraction. It was a fun distraction. It was certainly enjoyable for a while, but it ultimately was just prolonging the inevitable as far as I'm concerned. It bought more time that really didn't amount to any changes in Run8. Run8 is still the same. And likewise, there's no serious competition for Run8 out there as well. So, I mean, you can say put up or shut up. Well, then maybe I should go and develop something. Well, goody goody. Wish I had the knowledge, wish I had the time. But I don't. At least not yet. And I'm not too worried about that. My whole thing is I've lost, I continue to lose enthusiasm for this product. There's nothing. I'm not looking forward to version 3. What am I looking forward to exactly? I don't know. You tell me. What's supposed to be in version 3 that version 2 doesn't have? What new routes are coming out? What new regions are coming out? What new developers are coming on? Where are these people? Where's TSCAD? That's a good question. Now these are people who, you know, okay, TSCAD, alright, he's developed stuff, but he's never sold anything. Up to this point, it's been totally for free. So, you know, I'd be a hypocrite to say at least he's done something. I mean, it's not like I haven't done anything in development of my own stuff, but at least his stuff, I would say, quite frankly, is much more beneficial to the community than what RTS was to the community, I would think. I'm more of a niche operations type thing, whereas dispatching software is very beneficial. Now, you know, when you're running alongside an external dispatcher, you could say maybe it's not as important, but it's more needed now than ever. So I'd say he has a lot more ability than I do, but then again, I don't know what his circumstances are. So, and when you sell a product, you sell a product, okay? The bottom line is, you've sold the product. There's always a disclaimer or whatever the heck it is in the fine comments about. There's no expectations for anything else. That's it. You buy it. The contract is done. There's no more requirements whatsoever. It's not a matter of, oh, we're shortchanged. We're not shortchanged. I got my money's worth in Run8 ages ago. I've said that. That's not the point. The point is, there was a time where I used to be enthusiastic, or at least it seemed like the team was enthusiastic about things. Now I don't even know what's going on. I have no clue. I mean, Jason ran into health issues, obviously, more recently. Brad had health issues prior to that. But to be honest, Jason was the guy that was holding the Ford train sim. Mikey's been on. You know, he hasn't really said too much. I think about a month or so ago I was chatting with him somewhere. Can't remember where exactly, but I think it was on one of these live streams. But I just don't know. I have no idea if there's any direction or any clue as to what's coming up next. And that's always been the mystery. It's always been such a secret thing. Like there's this, I don't know, there's somebody that's going to steal all their ideas or something. I don't know what the hell the dementia is about that, but I know the feeling. I mean, I felt kind of the same way when thinking about developing certain ideas. I didn't want to say what my ideas were because I was afraid it was so good that people would steal it. Well, there have been plenty of developers who could have easily, if they had 80% of the physics that Run8 had and the eye candy of a TSW or even anything close, they would have easily been in competition with Run8. Who's there? Nobody. That's why I say Run8 doesn't have any competition. They might have that market share as far as being a train game, but as far as a train simulator, sorry, the others don't cut it. They just don't cut it. And it's pretty sad because I've heard this whole thing, well, it's a small group of guys, it's been a small group of guys for 7 years. Come on. Where's the growth? Where's all these millions of copies ran around the world? Where's the expansion? It's nowhere. Maybe it's just because it's a micro niche. I don't know what the hell it is. Maybe there's no money in Run8. Maybe some of the issues talking about the various game engines and the limitations that have been rumored or even mentioned on my forums, which pretty much is a ghost town these days. Maybe that's it. Maybe something's going on there. I don't know why I'm going down to 23. I should be up to 30. That's what happens when I'm yapping and not paying attention. So yeah, I ran up a few ideas in a last-ditch effort to think, is there any possible way I can salvage my interest in Run8? Other than, I mean, this is more of a, I don't know what you call it, Tuesdays and Thursdays, a break in between what I like to do now, I guess. Nobody's forcing me to be here, put it that way. Nobody's forcing me to run certain jobs or anything like that, or in the winter I'll have more time. I don't know if I'm going to want to deal with the more time. We'll have to see. But it's like, I guess you'd call it preaching to the choir at this point, to try and get Run8 to, you know, or howling at the wind is more like it, to actually give some information out there to people other than a Facebook post. I mean, the Facebook post is great, especially if something's going on, and you know, there's health issues and there's all kinds of other things going on. You know, these things happen. I understand that. We're all human, and these are humans that are doing this too. But the last I heard, John was full time and has been full time for a long time. In fact, there was a period of time. And I don't know if you guys caught it. I don't know if it's still the case, but the titles between John and Brad switched on the Run8 website. And I noticed it. And I didn't know if it was because of Brad's health issues or what the hell the deal was. I noticed that they had switched their titles or something. And I thought, well, maybe that's gonna, you know, the direction or the change in direction or something like that's gonna happen, but it didn't happen. Nothing really has changed. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I haven't got a clue. I mean, they can tell me about non-disclosure agreements till hell freezes over. It don't mean nothing. I don't have a clue. I don't have any secrets. I would say there's hundreds of more people over on Run8 Depot that know what's going on more than I do. Don't have a clue. And there's no new stuff being posted. You got Run8 Depot tooting their horns about their quarterly performance data or something like that. And hey, there's new hoppers coming out. Ooh, wow, or something. Whoopee-doo. That's it? Who knows? I mean, maybe it's something like all the work that they did in LA burned them out, or maybe it opened up a can of worms or issues that they've realized now. To that I say, think smaller. Go to quality, as far, not so much quality or quality less than quantity, yeah, you want more routes, more regions, all that other stuff to give people choices, or to expand your market to different potential. But I still say they need a smaller Class 1. Not even a Class 1. They could go smaller than that. You take a single track line, such as Mojave Sub, and really, whether it be Mojave Sub, Sanford Sub's another good example. You take something like that, and that's why I kind of levitated towards Mojave Sub and Sanford Sub, because I was thinking to myself, you know, I could do something like that, but you know, you can. It's one thing to actually cut a region into that area, but then you have to have the start points. You have to have all the spawn points that make sense. That was all the problem I always had running out of Mojave, was these start points were in goofy spots that I really had to run a train for, you know, all the way out of the other side of Barstow to get a train to come off of BNSF, and it was a mess. It was really, you know, it wasn't designed to work smaller than what it was. And you could really go small wise and not have the spawn points, and then just go in and you know, basically spawn them yourself, I suppose. Copy them to a TMU. Yeah, hell, you could even use this software like an RTS if it was ever upgraded, but I'm not upgrading it. Not until I know what's going on. I wouldn't even bother with it. And there's others that are supposed to do stuff similar to RTS. I don't know what's happening with that either. I haven't heard it. But no, I guess one thing that I've started to learn is I've always believed to myself, I guess, that trying not to worry about what other people think is very important. Unfortunately, the reality is, it's one thing, you know, deep down that's the way you should act, but at the same time, you know that most people are going to be vulnerable to it. In other words, despite the fact they know that they shouldn't and just basically charge forward and do their own thing, they're still vulnerable to the idea that people want to be respected by others, or part of other communities, or part of other you know, friendships, or whatever the case may be. So I have like a little over 400 subscribers on my channel. This video will probably get 100 views. If I keep talking bad about Run8, I'll get thumbs down. I know how it works. I don't care. But whereas something that I'm trying new, I'll put 5 hours or whatever. That doesn't really matter, the amount of hours, because I even did a shorter video and that didn't really get much. But it gets who knows what the hell it gets. I used to think that, you know, hey, yeah, okay, I bought this microphone. Well, I got to do YouTube because I bought this nice microphone, and I wanted to stream and do this and do that, and who knows what else. But one thing about being an only child, not only being an only child, but being single. And I'll be honest, I'm even, like, when I'm at work, I get an hour lunch, okay, let's say, and I'm already antisocial as it is. You'll see that with me. If you've watched my YouTube channel enough, you've seen that with me. I can be very antisocial. It's not that I'm anti-people or whatever, I just probably come across that way. It's because I'm very independent, I guess. I just go on my own and just, I don't worry about the pleasantries. I try not to. I just come on, like even tonight I went on, did my thing. I didn't worry about people saying, hey Sean, you know, stuff like that. It's great. I'll say hi. I'll just say hi, guys. I won't name every person that's saying hi to me, but you know, I'm here to do something. I'm here to have fun, or I'm here to, you know, have fun. And a lot of times I don't even know what the hell I'm doing when I'm coming here. That's the weird thing about it, is I never know what task or job or whatever I'm going to have. So it's difficult to really look forward to it or be interested or whatever. You're just like, okay, well, here I am. Let's see what we got. I mean, I remember the times where it was just like I knew I was going to be dispatcher. Or I knew this or I knew that, but kind of different now, but that's the way it is. I didn't want the responsibilities or anything like that. I was tired of that. So, but at the same time, then you start getting the desire of wanting to do something, and then it's just like, well, wait a minute, what the hell are you gonna do? What is there to do? Like, what are you gonna host? I don't know. There's only 3 regions. I mean, what? You're just going to host a server for the sake of hosting a server? I mean, you could. What's the point? You're not going to be able to run all the trains. You're not going to be able to do, you know, whatever. But anyways, I'm sounding like a tyrant right now. We got 10:30 Eastern. Oops. I mean, the one idea that I, you know, kind of talked about doing, I mean, I don't think there's any server that would do it. Because it's risky, and I've tried doing it before myself. It's very risky when people have more than... where the hell are we coming up to here? I'm supposed to be on the channel 6. I didn't even know I was on that. 3372. forgot I wasn't even on the road channel. But yeah, that whole idea, like, again, trying to, like, when you, and this is the problem that I think I was facing, even with Mojave, the default, when you're taking away parts of a route to try to control, or try to make it smaller or more manageable, you're essentially relying on the clients to, back to clear. You're essentially relying on clients to give up parts of the routes they own. That's not an easy sell. You'll get some people that'll do it, but a lot of people might be out of curiosity. And that's what I found. I had people that were curious at first, then they tried it, and they're like, I don't think I like that idea. Or when they're part of a bigger region, well, like Sanford Sub, for example. Well, wow, I got this Waycross now, or I want to go up into Jacksonville, or I want to go through the Folkestone Funnel, or not the Folkestone Funnel. Yeah, Folkestone Funnel, sorry. Right one. And, I pay, I bought the whole route. I want to run the whole route type thing. That's where you have those that just are out to run trains and like running trains, but want realistic, or have some type of realistic expectations. And those that actually are behind the scenes doing the stuff that's needed to keep it going. What you're missing is just a smaller region that deals more with quality versus quantity. That's sorely missing. A route editor is definitely missing. I mean, it's almost to the point right now where I'm curious as to what OpenRails is doing. Like, seriously, I'm wondering what OpenRails is doing. I even saw Scott Martin. He was posting a video the other day. It was in not OpenRails. I think it was, I don't know, whatever simulator he had some stuff going on, and I was like, wow. But yeah, you develop a route with enough assets, unique assets, not just ones you get to repeat, but have some very good artwork and unique assets, and you combine that with a small but detailed route. And with all the AI and all the goodies that you would come to expect from Run8, suddenly it's not unfeasible to have a group of 12 people or whatever, or even the ideas, as I was saying the other day, is you run like around my neck of the woods. You may have trains that run all day and night, but then the amount of work that's really needed, or the amount of switching work in the yards, they don't run 24/7. They'll run 8 hours, if that. The locals, they do their thing maybe, you know, through daylight hours, so you adjust the clock and boom, there you go. Now you have a 24/7 server. And if you don't have enough people available to do it, well, guess what? The jobs get delayed. Just like the real world, except it's not as extreme because it gives more encouragement for others. Number one, it gives the encouragement for people who want to have certain jobs to look forward to them. When you have, like, you know, you're in the middle of a schedule right now. I'm in one little 90-minute fragment of a 24-hour schedule. And then I'll find another 90 minutes later on, like I'll be in the night, then I'll be later on in the night in the next session, and the next session I'll be, you know, in the wee hours of the morning or something. Okay. I used to kind of look at those type of things as saying, well, you know, it's part of a bigger system, and being part of a bigger system is really cool, especially the traffic levels. I love dispatching. I love dispatching a couple of these territories at full capacity. It was awesome. It really and truly was awesome. But dispatching at full capacity and then actually having to operate at full capacity is a totally different thing, especially when it takes humans to make up these trains and break down these trains. You saw what was happening with me at the beginning of this video. What had happened? 2 trains were needed to come into San Bernardino. Very simple tasks. They weren't hard. But of course, you know, dispatcher's busy. He's got a huge territory to manage. So I have to make sure, all I had to do was make sure that the cars were far enough into the yard, relinquished, and that was it. And I moved them up, and, you know, once that was done, did the 2 registry entries so that the yards, they knew where everything was, and that was it. It was very simple. But that alone required a human, because the AI is not smart enough to do that, which is understandable. Nobody ever asked the AI to be that smart. It's not a question of the AI not being smart enough. I mean, yeah, an AI dispatcher would be cool, and an AI this would be cool, but we already have the power. It's the lack of a more focused route to meet realistic demand. And what I mean by realistic demand is this. Here's realistic demand. You've got, okay, so a few people dropped off, but there was about 10 people on earlier. But let's say right now, not counting the server, or even if you want to count the host, well, Mike's already on there, sorry, as a client, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 people on the server right now. 3 people are running. You've got at least two people dispatching. You've got others who have to make sure that everything is going smoothly, cars are going, blah, blah, blah. Who knows what else? There's a lot of manpower just to keep it going, let alone running. What I'm doing right now is nothing. It's useless. This can be done by AI. This is just enjoyment. But it's still an enjoyable part of a train simulation. People want to run trains sometimes, just like I did right now tonight. I was like, give me a train that's just going up the hill. I don't care. If I get to meet a train, great. If I don't care. So what I'm doing, the AI can do. You do it pretty good. But these are trains that are available, and then I'm not the only one. Bill's running an M Barstow. K-Dog's running West Colton, North Platte. Those are all mainline trains. There are no switching jobs being run right now. So now you take something like that, so you take something like that, and then you may or may not have dispatchers available. The difference between anarchy on a big server right now is that you're actually being part of an anarchy of some huge freaking thing, and nobody who's running trains should be expected to dispatch that amount of traffic. If one player is on, nobody should be expected to dispatch that amount of traffic. But if you're in a smaller system, it's feasible. If you so happen to be at time to where a prime time or very high volume time comes up, and it just so happens to coincide with switching locals and maybe a passenger train and something else, and it's available, that may include the role of one dispatcher, then suddenly you've got yourself a small group of people being able to not only avoid anarchy so that you actually have a dispatch session, or at least a dispatcher available on a 24/7, but then they're able to do their thing. You know what I'm saying? So now suddenly you have, oh, looks like we're going to run a little later tonight, by about 4 or 5 minutes. I just noticed that. So now you have a dispatcher who has the ability to have some interesting dispatching going on. You may have some AI trains. Of course, you can have mainline trains that still run the course of a schedule, but you can hold off some of those things until dispatchers are available, or call them at times when it's busier, because there's, like I said, there's afternoon lulls where I am. It might get really busy, like for example where I'm at, it'll get really busy in the early morning hours. There'll be like 3 trains or something that'll go out. There'll be a passenger train, then there won't be anything, at least on CN. There won't be anything until from about 11 o'clock in the morning. You may not see anything until 6 p.m. at night. And then there'll be another passenger train, the Amtrak going the other way. Then you might see, you'll see a train come in maybe at about 8 o'clock, and then you won't see a damn train at all until the next early morning. So you'll go almost 12 hours. While that's going on, CP could be running at any time, really. But they may not have much at all in the afternoon. They may have stuff. They don't have any passenger stuff to worry about in the area. So something like that could be set up. It doesn't even have to be prototypical. And even if it wasn't, if it was set up as a line, as a prototypical line, and you wanted to go a little freelance, you could. Something like the Mojave sub is very easy to go freelance, or proto-lamps on, I should say. The problem is now you're attached to a system that includes a giant hump yard at Barstow. You got the Cajon sub, you got everything that's in place. People who have other routes that connect to it are not going to be so eager to join your sessions. And that's one of the things I found. Although nobody ever told me that, if I owned those, I would be reluctant. That's why Mike is running every single route there is for Run8. I never bought Seligman stuff, nor would I ever run a California server again with this many routes. But it's crazy. So for me, I mean, the question lied on with me. I spent 20 some odd bucks. The question was okay, am I going to actually take a risk and put up a server again, like a 24/7 server, which means I'd have to buy another copy of version 2? Was I going to really risk that? I could take this and put this on the other computer and see if it runs. But then of course I'd have to contact them and get their security, because it's all based on the computer's ID or whatever, so I couldn't just easily transfer it over to the other computer. It'd be a pain in the ass. The only thing I could do is switch computers between my son and his, but that ain't happening. I'm not taking his computer. I think mine's a little more powerful. I think his might. I'm not too sure if his is newer or not. I doubt it. Never really thought about that. No, mine should be newer. I think I got a new one after a while. This is newer than the server, I believe. I think the server, there was another computer, but can't remember. I don't think this computer is as new as the server. And I wouldn't put it on this computer. And that is what Run8 version 2 is on. And just, you know. So am I going to be inclined to buy Run8 version 3? I don't know. To me, they got a lot to sell me on, personally. And they're not really making me feel enthusiastic whatsoever. There's just nothing there. I still think I would probably be better off just to do my whole 2D thing and just go with it. But as of right now, I'm totally distracted and enjoying what I'm doing on other nights. So if I did 5 hours of live stream last night, yeah, that pretty much kept me busy. And the funny thing about those live streams, whereas I'm kind of ranting tonight, those live streams are very quiet. I sometimes I even forget I'm on a live stream. And we'll see how it goes, because, you know, I get I think I got one thumbs up, whoopee-doo. Like I said before, it's getting to the point where I gotta stop worrying about what other people want. Or worrying about what other people think or anything like that. I didn't get to where I didn't get to where I am at in life, worried about what other people think. You know, it's when this is kind of an analogy, but when I broke up, or sorry, when separated from my ex, and I was living on my own again. I'll tell you that in a second. I'm in the tunnel. It's noisy as hell. But anyways, here, stop ringing. So yeah, I was totally lost because I was so used to, you know, I had, you know, a good 5 years of being around somebody, and even before that, I mean, I shouldn't say not all the time before that. I had some single batches as well, but it was kind of funny because I separated, divorced, and even before the divorce, and I was still separated, I wound up dating somebody again. And it was, I don't know if it was so much a rebound or if it was just I needed to fill that void. But I found something at least to do it. But the goofy thing about it was we barely had a relationship. We barely hung around each other. And that was probably the best thing that could happen to me, because it allowed me to find myself again. It certainly strengthened my ability to have a very, very meaningful relationship with my son, because every minute I could spend with him was that more powerful. Even more powerful than when I was living at home. When I was living at home, I had my wife there too, so it was shared. I mean, I'd work. Sometimes I'd be tired, whatever, at night. What do we got here? I'm not even too sure where the hell I'm at anymore. Yes, I'm at coming up to Rowan. I don't know where I'm at. Yeah. Am I coming up? No, I'm not at Woody. So yeah, but it was one of the best things that could happen to me. In some ways, I mean, I've been, for the longest time, I mean, just cranking out videos after videos, even to the point where it's just like I'm with my son on the weekends. It's a little bit different when I'm with my son on the weekends. I'm kind of like, I don't feel the need to live stream. But he's like, hey, want to live stream? Want to live stream? I'm like, oh, come on. What do we need a live stream for? You want to live stream our whole weekends? And then, you know, I'm just like, oh, it's interesting because I pretty much live stream my free time, so it's kind of funny. Like I said, what I'm running right now as my main, since the weekend, my main, I don't know how long it'll last. Right now it's keeping me interested, but it's probably not as popular as Run8. It's only been out since January, and I don't know if sailing's one of those micro niches that is almost not so much sailing, I should say, like being a but yeah, it's, you know, like I'm not even like into commercial fishing or anything like that. It's just basically a task for being out on the ocean or the water is really cool. and it just so happens it's a, you know, being a commercial fisherman. So I was like, yay, that's cool. But, you know, it's fun. And like I said, I'm very quiet when I go into those live streams. I mean, the only time I'm quiet here is when I'm really busy focusing on tasks and whatever. For me, when I'm actually out and, you know, I'm just looking at the scenery and relaxing and, you know, calm, or if I know I don't have, I know exactly what I'm going to be doing too. Every time I go in, I pretty much know what's going to be happening. That's I'm a big person on planning and knowing what I'm going to be doing. I like knowing what I'm going to be doing the next day. I'm going to be working. I like knowing what to expect. Even sometimes when it's not as, like tomorrow, I know I'm going to be really busy. Just being able to know what's going on, I enjoy that. Even if it's not the greatest news, like, you know, knowing tomorrow that I have, you know, shitload of work to do, okay, but I still like to know. I would rather know than be surprised. Like today kind of turned goofy on me. I didn't expect it. But I'm not much for big surprises. I mean, the odd random, hey, something happened to your train, or something happened to your boat, or whatever the case may be, is okay. That's kind of cool. I like variations. I like randomness. I like, you know, lateness factors, not expecting trains, like if you're a dispatcher, expecting trains to show up at the exact minute you expect and all that. No, yeah, I like that variation. I like that challenge. But knowing as in what you're going to be doing, if you're going to give yourself so much time in a night to run a certain program is really cool. Like I said, I go into that program and then it's just like, it's just me, the open sea, running around in a fishing trawler or whatever. Or no, it's not even a trawler. It's just a long line boat. I don't even have a trawler yet. I only got the first boat so far. But yeah, that's what I enjoy doing. So I'll have to, you know, I don't want to burn myself out. My son was worried about that too. He says he doesn't want to burn himself out, but he loves the game, he says. So I was thinking that I could do that, but I really can't. I don't think that... No, that doesn't work. It doesn't have all the buttons. But we'll see what happens. I keep saying I'm going to be doing less live streams, but I'll have to think about things. I'm enjoying, like I said, I'm enjoying what I'm doing, so. But as long as people are happy at what they're doing, that's cool. So, we'll see. Anyways, guys, that's it for now. Yeah. You can always check my forums out and leave me comments if you're so enthused as I am. But other than that, I don't know what I'm going to be doing. We'll see. I'm not even too sure about live streams of any kind right now at the moment, but we'll see. Anyways, I will see you the next time, whenever that is. Could be tomorrow, could be, who knows. We'll talk to you later. Have a good one, guys.